Well, Julia, who was doing the engineering on Johnny Walker's programme, came in for a bit of a dance in the course of that one, and quite rightly so. Transglobal Underground, and that's called Boss Tabula. More from them, obviously, later in the programme. And from Olympia, Washington, also in session this afternoon, Fitz of Depression.
Nowhere to begin.
A very colorful group, 2 boys and 2 girls, twin brothers married to twin sisters. The Gays, they were called then. They since have been renamed the Kimberleys and are playing Las Vegas.
Two from Fitz of Depression in session. Hey, that rhymes. That's kind of cute. The first being called She Wants to Know, the second Mask. The lineup, Mickey D's guitar vocals, Craig Becker on drums, Brian Sparhawk on bass. More from them as well, of course. Moved. Oh, hold on a second. There we go. Moved, damn it. Well, now there's some flavour for your ear, if you like. That's Bo Diddley and his contribution to the House Rockin' Blues compilation on Ace. That was Little Girl. Before that, it was Tim Westwood. But before Tim Westwood, it was Transglobal Underground and Lightfish. Our other session guest this afternoon, Fitz of Depression.
We
Muscle. That's Fitz of Depression in session and Gotten Sly. The information sheet here from Fire Records reads thus. From Olympia, Washington, Fitz of Depression have been together 3 years and are veterans of the American hardcore scene. Signed to K in the States and Fire here, the band recently did a huge 26-day tour of the UK, which again presupposes a kind of small 26-day tour of the UK, which proved them to be the most astounding act in concert. Wow. And it says the band are now subject to the inevitable post-Offspring Green Day bidding war in the States, but are adept at looking after themselves, so appear unfazed. They sing and play from the heart about injustice in the American political system. Is there any? What a surprise. And with a superb sense of humour. Nice geezers, top band. They'll be back once the second LP is done later in the year. And that's it, I think. Right. More from Fitz of Depression later, of course. This is Half Man, Half Biscuit, going slightly Quo-like. Another splendidly foolish record, this one by Ultimate ST, or Ronnie W, actually. Another one on Evolution Records as well, and that's called What's This, DJ. From Fitz of Depression in session this afternoon, this is Young and Free. That's Spirit of Depression. No, Fitz of Depression. What am I saying? In session with Young and Free. Now, if somebody had come to me, like, say, 6 months, at any time, really, and said, we've had this great idea. What we're going to do is, you know, the success of those kind of classic rock things, you know, where they do things like Layla and get the London Philharmonic Orchestra to play them. Don't know what you're laughing about. I'm sure it exists, actually. But if somebody had come to me and said, we're going to do the same with punk, I'd have said, look, you know, don't bother, really. It's just hardly worth it at all. And then when they changed the name of the orchestra to the London Punk Harmonic Orchestra, you think, this is a disaster. And it's one of those things which I don't know if it's been played on the radio at all by anybody else, or, you know, I wouldn't imagine, perhaps it has, perhaps it hasn't. But I'm sure when the papers get hold of it, they're going to give it a terrible slagging. And yet I listened to it and I thought, actually, this kind of works on some of the tracks, and, well, there's at least one which I think is an absolute gem, and I'll play it to you now and see how long it takes you to work out what the tune is. That's yet another record on Evolution Records. You can tell who bought me lunch this week. That's Sonar Zone, and Sonar Eclipse is the title of it. And a fax here from the Big Issue Cymru in Cardiff. It says, could you please mention the Big Issue Cymru birthday gig next Thursday, the 25th of May, at the Students' Union Cardiff. The venue is Terminal 396. And the bands are Gorky's Zygotic Monkey, Gouge, I guess it is, or Googe possibly, and the Terrorist Ballet Dancers, 8 till 1 p.m. That's in Cardiff at the Students' Union next Thursday for the Big Issue Cymru. What have I for you now? Oh yeah, the last from Fitz of Depression, their debut session for the programme. This is See Me, Hear Me.
Oh,
the Fitz of Depression, the last from them. That's See Me, Hear Me. And last week I got a record from a band called Rubber, which is spelled Rubher, from Australia on Lighthouse Records. It's an EP called Big Red Truck. And I was looking at it and looking at the titles, and one of them, it says, Johnny Peel is dead. And I thought, that's a bit grim, and then I thought it must be some kind of Australian bloke called Johnny Peel, a bit of a coincidence. But no, it turns out this isn't the case at all. And here's something from an Australian newspaper. It says the last song on the EP is entitled Johnny Peel is Dead. When I ask about the origins of the song, I have a small history lesson thrust upon me by the band. My God, don't you know? And you call yourself a music journo. John Peel is the Radio 1 DJ who discovered punk in the 70s and new wave in the 1980s. I certainly did, everybody. In fact, I was in all of those bands. And he said, what does it go on to say? He started out doing pirate shows on the ships during the war. It says, that would make me like 75 or something, because they couldn't have music on. I don't know if you know the story. There was a time when no radio stations in England would play pop music, so all these DJs used to get boats and go out into the middle of the sea where they could reach Europe, and they used to play pop music, and it was really successful. And so it goes on in similar vein. But the record, of course, is really rather grim, because Johnny Peel, nobody who knows me, of course, would ever call me Johnny, at least not twice, but Johnny Peel is dead. Well, it's me, and I'm sampled on it, but I thought I'd better play it, because you feel safer that way in a funny way.
I do wander around and go and see what's going on here.
Johnny Peel is dead!
I'm not conscious to make a point of listening to any music at all.